Hello and welcome everyone to the Nurses in Charge Share Your Nurse Story. Today we are honoring one of our leaders within our organization, and this is Mr. Elvis. Before he comes along, I want to give you some background on him, and he can do the rest of it when he gets here. Okay, here we are. Mr. Elvis, welcome. I'm going to
Thank
read
you.
a little bit about you, and then you can tell the rest of your story to our listeners. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your leadership. This is why we're here today, to honor you.
Thank you very
Ladies and
much.
gentlemen, welcome to Nurses in Charge. We are a faith-based nonprofit organization established in the USA 4 years ago, and we are hitting global landmarks. Today, we are honoring one of our, I would say, excellent leader, right? And I named this Excellence in Leadership honor that we're having here today. So join us on this inspiring episode of the NIC Share Your Nurse Story podcast as we spotlight the phenomenal journey of Mr. Suiyven Elvis, a husband, father, nurse leader, and passionate advocate for critical care nursing in Africa. From humble beginnings in a rural village in Cameroon to earning his place among global healthcare voices, Mr. Elvis has from is risen through the ranks of a shared resilience, heart, and dedication. As a published researcher, global sepsis advocate, and YouTuber. I don't know how this man does all these things. He is transforming pediatric care in resource limited settings and mentoring the next generation of nurses and midwives through initiatives like Professional Progression Group and Africa Health Insights. Now, on his next bold chapter, he is pursuing a PhD in nursing with a focus on none other than sepsis management in children, aiming to reduce preventable childhood deaths across Cameroon and beyond. But his journey requires support. Invest in a legacy of healing, ladies and gentlemen. NIC believes in empowering nurses and midwives to leadership and advancing their education and elevating the care we provide worldwide. We are asking you today's podcast, the essence of this podcast today, we're asking you to stand with us by showing Mr. Elvis academic journey, your contribution to NIC Scholarship Foundation through NIC endeavor to support not only verbally, but to be that financial support to our leaders who are moving above and beyond their current status as professionals. They're going and hitting the landmark. As we see, Mr. Elvis is going for his PhD. As I mentioned previously, we are a nonprofit. In the USA, our tax code is the 501c3 tax code, meaning that those in the USA can make a tax deductible donations to this foundation to help elevate nursing and nursing and midwifery professionals who are going to earn higher degrees, higher education in their profession. Ladies and gentlemen, you wonder how can we contribute? PayPal. If you do have a PayPal, the nurses in charge at gmail.com. If you have a Cash App, I will be posting most of these informations, but I just want to start this episode. We're just setting the stage. I am not here to look pretty. I am not here to sound beautiful. I am here to support Mr. Elvis and others who are reaching the highest degrees, who are saying, I don't want to just be a bedside nurse. I just don't want to be a manager. I want that terminal degree and I need support. I know I needed support when I embarked on my journey to get my DMP years ago. So I do know the struggle, what it feels like to be in this leadership role, in this journey. So welcome everyone. Without further ado, let us listen to the honoree of the day, Mr. Elvis. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nyimpo, for that wonderful introduction. I doubt if I have a lot more again to say, but since you've given me the opportunity to tell our audience who I am Suiyven Elvis Dzelamunyuy from the northwest region of Cameroon, precisely from Kumbu. And right now, I am based in Bamenda, the capital city of the northwest region of Cameroon. I am a nurse by profession who started from bedside nursing and acknowledging or recognizing the need for critical care in Cameroon and beyond. I embarked on the journey to be an advocate for those who die inevitably. It is our role to prevent death from preventable causes. So, right now, I am embarking into another level of this journey, and I hope this level is going to put forth the way that we can use evidence to be able to take care of those who are seriously ill. Thank you once more for the introduction, and hopefully, we're going to delve deep into our discussion and have a lot to say as we move on. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I do see some individuals are in the who are in the backstage, and they seem to know you. There's a Lucon Justin Baker, and
Mhm.
there is a, let me see, someone else was there and they left a little while ago. So do you know this? Do you know this gentleman?
Yeah, you just mentioned in life, the as we move along in this journey, you don't
Yes.
move as an island. I can attest
Mm-hmm.
to you that these people you see, they have been with me through the dark times. They have supported me through my life. You have Yvette, you have her junior sister, you have Lukon Justin, all
Mm-hmm.
my friends who have been with me through the times where everything looked like it was blurred. I had to drop from school because of the people you see here. That's
Hmm.
why I am here today. And I'm pretty sure that we are going to make sure that others who deserve to be somewhere, we must support them. It is our responsibility. It is our inborn responsibility. But really want to appreciate Lukon Justin, who is here, my friends who are also here, and most importantly, my family. You have Yvette and the junior sister Awia. Those are people who give you life, people who make you feel part of a larger family, and they are always there for you.
Great job. And I want to say amen to um, the remarks being made here, that
Mhm.
you have a top-notch personality, Mr. Elvis. I have known you just this year. You have touched NIC since you got introduced to NIC through Yensha and other leaders from Cameroon, from the Cameroon chapter. And it's amazing how, as a leader, you don't sit still. You are the exemplar. You are exemplifying what a true leader does. Come in and says, what are we supposed to do? What needs to be done here? I'm all hands on deck. And I appreciate that. So let me see here. I want to allow few comments about you before we go deeper into our conversations here. Welcome into the showroom, Mr. Bika. Do you have any comments about this remarkable leader who is here today, and we're honoring him? What have you to say about him?
Yeah. Thank you very much for welcoming me. And I want to thank Elvis because he has inspired me a lot. He has given me opportunities and platforms to express my own views as well. And he keeps on inspiring me and challenging me every time we discuss about nursing in Cameroon and
Mm,
Africa at large. And all along, he keeps on, trying to bring something new. And that has helped me as well because I'm still at the bedside. I'm still doing bedside nursing, and through his initiatives and efforts, I have drawn inspiration even to lead as the assistant GS, general supervisor, where I am working now, to to start helping other nurses who are like under me to start thinking beyond being at the bedside nursing, and also bringing in something new or putting in an effort to know that we can do better, such that those preventable deaths he's talking about, when it happens, we should not just we need to look at why did we go wrong,
mhm,
what went wrong, what did we not do that if we could have done, this patient will have survived. And I
mm.
feel honored to be part of this session, this honorary session for him this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It's amazing, we sometimes in life we wait till someone has passed on to, the death has taken them away before we bring their flowers and put it on the casket and show our honor that way. But that this is not the journey for NIC. We believe in giving our nurses and midwives their flowers now so the world can see them. We believe in recognizing our nurses on the global platform because so far too long we have done so well throughout the generations, and sometimes patients leave without even saying thank you. Our employers see us as cash crops, and we're just a number. It's a ratio, nurse to patient ratio. At the end of the day, it's a paycheck. But Nurses in Charge Global has taken a revolutionary direction away from that, saying we should never be in live in silos. We should be recognized for what we do. We should find within ourselves the identity of leadership and propel ourselves and others. So this is the essence of today's show, to truly show what that means when we see a leader who is thriving beyond his or her community. We're here to push you forward. We're here to elevate you. We're here to recognize you on a global platform. And more of all, we're here to galvanize forces to help propel your journey financially. So if anyone out there who has a nickel or dime in your currency, send it out to Nurses in Charge. Email us. And if you don't have any of the avenues of giving that we have here, PayPal or cash app, send us an email, and we will definitely we will direct your attention to other means of giving. So again, as we have gathered here, Mr. Elvis, what gave you the push to go back to school? You are a father, you are a husband, you lead an entire hospital. What made you say, wait a minute, I need that terminal degree and I need more to give best care to my patient? What else is behind this story that we don't know yet?
Thank you very much, Dr. Nyimpo. You know, behind every story, there must be a beginning. And
Okay.
here, Justin can attest. I have worked with Justin not just inter hospital. I've worked with Justin in the same hospital, and we
Mm,
started by working in an ICU, in a cardiac ICU. And you compare what happens in this modernized ICU when you find yourself in a general ward in the Cameroon setting, not just in Cameroon, but I think most of sub-Saharan Africa and other African countries, you discover that most of our loved ones, they don't actually even see the ICU or the modern technology that we need to take care of them. And that's why if we are advocating for critical care today in Cameroon and Africa, it should be critical care in the general ward. I think between the from 2007 when we started as student nurses, I think one of the things that we have lived as nurses, as students, is working overnight and working with 40 something patients to two nurses and packing with like packing corpses. b- like you live life which is full of emotional distress, and you start asking questions. What do we have to do? What is it that we need to do better? And that if you don't ask yourself these questions, it means you aren't observing what is happening. And because we were able to see what was happening with preventable deaths, we were able to leave the situations. We thought to change this, we must advance in our career, we must be able to develop. And this change, we are the people that should bring this change. No other person will leave from another country, from Europe, from America, to come and say, okay, this is what is happening, we should change it. We are those change agents. We are the ones who should develop ourselves to be the change that we want. And I think that is where all of this stem from. And as you said, as a family, we usually call family head, as a husband, you need to provide for your family. You need to take care of your junior ones, and to do this, all of us believe that okay, when you go ahead with academics, you can be able to take care of not just your family members, but those in need financially. And maybe when we do go deep into our discussion today, you will see how complex it is for even those who are disadvantaged to go further in their educational career.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. Because sometimes people wonder, why is he in school? He could have just settled for his leadership role at the hospital and or community. But here you are on a journey to do more beyond what you already do, but with knowledge, with a knowledge and research that backs it up. That evidence-based practice knowledge that says we don't do it anymore this way. Evidence has proven, and we can replicate the evidence and really show that this is how it should be done to save lives today as compared to what was done in the past. Let us read a comment from one of our viewers here. She's in YouTube, Neo Kemu. She says, praise the Lord for you, Mr. Elvis. Congratulations on your hard work. Welcome aboard. We are we are very happy having you on board at Nurses in Charge. Perfectly said. Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you for your support of our leader, Mr. Elvis. So, noting that you are a husband, are you oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing I'm getting distracted here for a moment. It's hard to navigate and host at the same time, but nurses are we try to what do we do? We multitask, but that too can have its own hindrance. So, Mr. Elvis, as someone who has been a mentor, an educator, and have been somewhat of a I would say the beacon of light in your community. What are some of the moments that you would say has been so challenging, right, in your nursing profession, in that community setting, in or hospital setting, that has made you to say, um, as a leader, as a mentor, moving forward means something for the generation forward. What is an example of an incident that made you to truly take on this journey?
Thank you very much once more. I think if we had to cite incidents, we will not leave this platform today.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
being a nurse, being a nurse in Cameroon, being a nurse, bedside nurse, means you live the life, you live with people, you live what people pass through on their daily lives. And
Mm-hmm.
the heartbreaking thing about all this is the fact that you you sometimes you go back home and it feels like you you haven't given your best. And in most of the cases we find ourselves in situations where you know what to do, you know that you should have done your best, but the resources at your disposal weren't enough to help you succeed in whatever you did. I can quote with you an example of a patient where we once took care. That this is a post-surgical patient,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine a patient talking with you until the patient dies. This is a patient who had surgery and immediately went into hypotension and subsequently hypovolemic shock. And till this day, I always remember this particular man. This is somebody who was a parent. This is somebody who was a father. This is somebody whose children were waiting for him back home to come
Mm-hmm.
and provide for the family. And seeing him die a death that I thought was preventable, I felt like maybe I should have done better. Maybe we should have done better. So this
Mm.
kind of self-responsibility, asking myself questions on daily on what I do, is
Mm-hmm.
like a stepping stone. I need to do more. I don't want to always blame others for what happens in society, for what happens to our patients. If
Mm-hmm.
I could assess myself and discover that I was at least 50% up to the base, up to what should have been done, I think
Mm-hmm.
this is something enormous that w- all of us will always have to ask ourselves. Imagine working in an emergency department and they bring. Let me just give you another typical example of a case. This case did not actually die, but this is a case of a lady who came with poisoning, who self-inflicted poisoning, and this lady was pregnant and arriving in the emergency department unconscious with all the secretions coming from everywhere from the GIT with the risk of inhalation. And I find myself in a situation where I wasn't, I was, I wasn't even on duty, but as a leader, you find yourself in the hospital just because you've been called for one thing or the other, and you meet all the nurses on duty who are struggling maybe with the medical doctor as well. And all you need to do is okay, we don't have an ICU, we don't have the trained staff, but we need to do something for this lady. And we had to intubate this lady. We did some suctioning of the airway to clear all the secretions. She was unconscious, she wasn't breathing. We ventilated by hand, manual ventilation, and transported this patient to the referral hospital. And the good thing about this story is that day before yesterday, I met a relative who saw me and ran to me and told me that Elvis, I've been looking for you and it's been difficult for me to find you. Only for me to ask how their daughter was doing, and she told me she's moving around selling her groundnut. Can you imagine the inner joy you have just by
Yeah.
knowing that somebody you people worked on, somebody you thought had already died, is moving on
Wow.
the street and is selling groundnut. It therefore means that if we can be able to impact others, if we are able to touch the lives of nurses, of midwives, Every day in our lives, we are going to see lives being served because we are training the next generation of nurses and midwives whom we know if we do fall sick tomorrow, you will not be afraid, you will not be scared. You will be handled by people who are competent. And that is why I thought this is a bigger step that I need to take. If tomorrow a child comes and there is nothing to do on this child because the child is having sepsis, I'm going to blame myself because I knew what to do. I didn't do it. And that is where I think the issue of self reflexibility, asking myself questions on a daily basis, what am I to do? What should I do to make life better for others? I think this is where it comes from. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis. The question comes because we must all have a why, and sometimes that why is not just, oh, because I need that degree to have a title, to have influence, but then what are some of the tangible reasons that made you something that was like the icebreaker, and this is what you just explained, that there are incidences where you feel like you don't have all the necessary things, and then you look into your imagination and say, Lord, I wish I knew this, I wish I had this, right? I wish I had a capability to truly do the best in this patient care. And moreover, you're telling me that you see family members that are looking for you just to say thank you. You know, sometimes they may not be able to tell you exactly what they are going through, but they will tell you that
What's happening?
Yeah, I think Dr. Nyempo, maybe she's having some trouble with her network, but I think
Possible.
as as we rightly said, the stories are so many, and to think of an inspiration as an African, as a Cameroonian, you always think that you should have done better in so many instances. And as we rightly said, yeah, Dr. Nyempo is back.
oh no, you can continue explaining. My network is very unstable.
Thank you. So I remember we once also received a child with, I think, with the nurse in charge of the emergency department in one of the hospitals. And one of the things that happened is now is the fact that I'm actually working on sepsis, and this is a concept that is less understood in our settings. Imagine
Mm,
that most of our patients who end up in sepsis are still managed as infections. This tells us how
mm,
far we need to go. If a patient is already having organ dysfunction as a result of a particular infection, and something doesn't come to your mind that this is no more infection an infection, but this is already sepsis. It
yes,
this is how patients die. And
mm,
because if you don't know something, you aren't going to manage it. When you
that's true.
know it, you will be able to manage it. And that's why you see most of the times the patient is already unconscious, the patient is already having kidney injury, the patient is already having cardiovascular collapse, and
Hmm.
still yet it is still thought of as an infection. So we that's I think basically that is the kickstarter for all that I'm striving at. If one day, if tomorrow we see ourselves in situations where emergency care staff are able to immediately identify that this is a child at risk of developing sepsis. And one
Hmm.
important thing, Dr. Nyempo and the audience to know here is the fact that it sepsis doesn't just end at the level of management. This is a
Mm,
condition that have devastating after consequences to the life of the individual, to the life of the community and the country at large. When we have children who are not able to produce, who are less productive, who are neurologically damaged, because of sepsis. We don't just talk about managing sepsis at the bedside of the patient, but what happens after the patient is even treated. I think this is something that we haven't even reached there as a country. We haven't even reached there as individuals to even capture the lives of those who survive sepsis as a whole. But we must start from somewhere. We must be
Mhm.
able to acknowledge or recognize the devastating consequences of sepsis in our communities, to understand that most infections patients do not die from those infections, they end up with sepsis. And sepsis is a condition that has its unique management strategies. Therefore, we
Mhm.
must employ these strategies. And for us to do this, we need evidence based strategies. And that is why it is important that I have to go ahead, I have to get this program. And by getting this program, we can become advocates for the healthcare professionals, for strategies, for guidelines that are adapted to where we are, that can even go beyond where we are. And we should be able to go as far as the general public, because the general public needs as well to understand the concept of sepsis, to understand the consequences of sepsis, and to prevent the after effects of sepsis. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. You have emphasized education beyond yourself, meaning that yes, you go and get a higher degree, but then the general population needs, extra resources from you. You how can you establish guidelines as care when you yourself you tell the law you have even had to acquire the knowledge that you need to establish guidelines in conjunction with your clinical experiences. So here, without further ado, we have people who have joined our backstage. So also I see uh is it
Dr. Nimpo,
YVE and then Awia. Can you unmute yourself? This is honoring program for Mr. Elvis. What do you have to say? Okay, they may just be viewing. You have called my name, Mr. Elvis. Were you okay? Sorry for the disruption. For a moment, I thought maybe just joining wanted to say something about you. In honoring you. Yes. So on that note, nurses, and my belief and my prayer is that there will be individuals out there who has the financial bearing, who has resources to truly tap into this movement. Because yes, you're getting your PhD, but I also believe that there are resources that are lacking, right? Being from Africa myself and having done a tour in Liberia and looking at hospitals there, I do know how limited resources can also hamper the care we provide. So, what kind of support do you think, Mr. Elvis, that nurses and midwives really need when they are trying to level up, like you are right now, going back to school and beyond? What kind of support would you list for us?
Dr. Nimpo, I think you rightly put it out there. Being from Africa, where all of us come from,
Mhm.
is already a difficult journey in terms of furthering your educational programs. And you
Mhm.
know, Justin here can attest to you that most of the programs that we have in Cameroon and beyond Cameroon, most of Africa, you see that national programs do not encourage uh, citizens to further their education. You can imagine. Let's just take a typical example of. Let me just take medical doctors who in Cameroon, because I don't think of any program that is for nurses or for midwives. If you have like just medical doctors, you see, if you are a medical doctor in Cameroon and you want to further, if you are on the payroll of the government in Cameroon, you pay less of your educational fee. But if you are a medical doctor
Mhm.
going in for the same program, but you are not under the payroll of the government, you pay more. It means that those who more is taken from those who do not have, and less is taken from those who have. That is the challenge that we have. And to say it, to look at it from another perspective, when you find yourself in Cameroon and you want to further your education, if you are not if you are not that type of a person who really wants to do it, and of which I think we can give credit to most of our fellow Cameroonians, because most people always want to further their education. But now, financially, it is draining. Most people will always want to be like, imagine themselves working at the same time, and then going to school at the same time. This is really draining, especially for people who are family members, and family members depend on them. So it is difficult to find someone who is uh, raising a family. You have to sponsor yourself, you have to take care of the kids, you have to take care of yourself. So it's, I think, the bigger challenge in Cameroon is the finances. And once the finances are there, any other support is going to come, because you have your family that is always there to support you, you have your friends who are always there to support you. But the bigger challenge that most Cameroonians have is raising finances to further their education, as you rightly put it. I don't know if Justin also have something that hinders most people to further their education in Cameroon.
Yeah. In Cameroon, the major challenge might be financial, but sometimes you look. Sometimes those who even have the money, they have the finances. Sometimes they are not well oriented on which way to go to have the best of what they want to achieve. Because sometimes you discover that people have money, they go to school, they keep on going to school, and they are not focused. And at the end of the day, they come back, and when they talk, when they even at the level of working or teaching, sometimes people start wondering where they got their certificate from. And that is why the good schools that are available, sometimes they are not readily affordable. And for those who can afford, sometimes they are not well oriented, because programs are not made in such a way that um, you will know that this is this. Sometimes publicity takes the greater part of people start to think about, when I go to this school, when I come out, how will I be looked at in the society? Which kind of jobs will I have? People sometimes they are thinking about programs in terms of the financial gain they might also have after that training, because they need to sacrifice a lot to go to do these programs, and they need to start looking at how it will pay them back when they are when they finish their studies. But if I take the example of Mr. Elvis, I think that if he was looking only at financially, he would not have gone this far. He had to look beyond that as well, because there are some schools, for example, where he did his masters. If he was looking at finances, he would not have ventured into that. So sometimes the few people who are level-headed and who are focused, who want to achieve something, sometimes they are not well oriented as well. And that is why in Cameroon you see almost everybody saying there is so much money in nursing and in the Western world, and they keep on going to school to become nurses. Sometimes even when they go to this school, their essential aim is to validate their courses and come out. But what can they deliver even at the level of the bedside nurses, bedside as bedside nurses? What can they deliver, even like health education in the communities where they live? That is a very, very big challenge. And given to that, we have so many ministries in Cameroon training nurses. It brings confusion to parents, it brings confusions to even students. Where do they go to for their training? But the major problem usually is financial problems. That's my input.
Yeah, that's very well put, Mr. Justin. As you rightly said, sometimes people even have the finances, but way to access the education they want is sometimes somehow difficult. And sometimes, as you said, it's because of publicity that we see what is not even there is being advertised. So much so that children even get to those schools before they discover it was all about the name. Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. And you know, one of the difficulty in terms of nursing and midwifery education in Cameroon, as you rightly said, is the fact that the ministries in place, they when you look at the little care is given to the health of the population. Because if the care that is going to be delivered by individuals was guided by the interests of the ministries in position, you will not find more than 1,000 nursing and midwifery schools in Cameroon. What do we actually need? Do we need trained quality staff or we need more schools? Unfortunately, when sometimes you look at the what is produced, you even discover that if the nurses and the midwives that were trained were employed as per the number of patients that we have in Cameroon, you might be surprised that we're going to have maybe a 2 is to somehow 3 nurse to patient ratio. We might even surpass the recommendations by WHO. But now, those who are trained, where do they go to? Where do they find themselves? What motivated them to be trained? And a lot of factors come into play. But all in all, as you said, the difficulty in accessing quality education in Cameroon and beyond, I think, lies in the financial strength of the individuals concerned. So much so that if you are financially ready, you will be able to access the quality schools that you want to. If you are not financially ready, you go for what is available. And that is the difficulty. That is the challenge we find ourselves in. Now, in terms of practice, I think we already touched on that. Maybe one of the key here, we are just say the nursing field in Cameroon is quite flooded. Thank you very much, Awia, for that comment. The nursing field in Cameroon is quite flooded, and all of us can agree. And welcome back, Dr. Nyimpo. And we are just reading a comment here from Awia, which says the nursing field in Cameroon is quite flooded. And I and Jusun can share from her perspective what she meant to say that the nursing field is quite flooded. Imagine a class of 300, 400 nursing students. Where have you ever heard of such a class of 300, 400, 500 nursing students in one class? As a lecturer, how can you lecture this type of a class? Nursing, a field we all know is practice oriented. A field we all know there are no ifs, there are no buts. If you are going to train a class of 300 students and you expect everybody to be at 100% lectures to gain 100% what we are passing across, then I'm not sure we are still talking about nursing and midwifery. I think we had once had a discussion where we were looking at the number of nurses and midwives. I think this is something that we are working on. And if you remember, I quite told you that our problem in Cameroon might not be the number. Our problem in Cameroon might be the quality. And
Mm.
this is something that we really need to look into. Are we just there to train people, or we are there to train people who are ready to take care of our loved ones? We have said again that we have a lot of university institutes already, no need for more. I think she can share with you the, 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 the perspectives of most Cameroonians, because there are so many schools created there and there. Imagine schools being created with nobody to train. I'm not sure in the US where you are based that you find somebody leaves school today. The person has never practiced. The person doesn't even have a practice lab in his or her institution. You leave school today as a registered nurse, not registered per, as compared to what you have in the US. Because when we talk of a registered nurse here in Cameroon, we are referring to, or registered midwife per se, we are referring to an appellation that was laid down by the French when nursing and midwifery training was started in Cameroon. And this uh,
Mm.
aligned with the Ministry of Public Health here in Cameroon. Just to tell you that when you go through an entrance examination and you complete the 3 years of training, you are automatically called a registered nurse or midwife. So imagine leaving school as a registered, state registered nurse or midwife, and then you find yourself in an academic environment. What is the outcome? We expect those who are trained to be what we are seeing in the field now. So you, we are back, and yeah, we are is even talking of 900 students in one class. Maybe Dr. Nyempo, you should take over. You are back now. Thank you.
Wow. I'm just following what Awia is putting in, and it is amazing to see the numbers of students. And let's look on the brighter side though, that those number of students shows that people are hungry for knowledge, people are hungry for education, right? But then there's that demand that is not equating with the supply. If you have less amount of instructors to students, that ratio doesn't match, and then the education will be delivered poorly. And I know, as you mentioned, we spoke on this issue a little while ago, and we're actually embarking on a project on the preparation of nurses and midwives, and how are they coming into the workforce? Is it standardized? Is it being monitored? And how are the patient outcomes at the end of that journey, right? The output of knowledge. How is it? So, with that said, I want us to as we approach the end of the program, I want us to really focus on you, Elvis, because this program is shared on you, and in that you have all of these distractions, right? But then, as it comes to you as a professional who is embarking on a journey bigger than yourself, never been done before, what are some of your own needs? What are some of the areas that we as an organization and globally reaching for others to tap into your journey? What are some of the areas that we need to focus on to support you?
Yeah, I don't know if I think your line is breaking, but if I got you well, uh, I don't know if I'm going along and out of what the questions that you asked. Just get me back in line, please, because your lines were breaking.
Okay, so I was asking you to give us a good view of what your needs are as a student, as a graduate student. what are some of the
Mhm.
areas that you would give, inferences on to tell someone this is what I need as a student to survive, to truly
Mhm.
achieve this dream of becoming a
Mhm.
PhD degree nurse, to all of the outlined benefit of it, becoming a sepsis nurse, professional, getting that higher degree. What are some of the needs that you have found that these are things that could become an obstacle to you, but you're reaching out there for help?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Nyempo. And first and foremost, one of the key things that I've identified as most crucial to my life as a student at this level is having people who have gone beyond me, who are in front of me, being able to be supportive of this particular journey. We often think education is all about having lectures, being in class, going through exams. But I can tell you that this journey is not about um, having lectures, it's not about having past courses, but it's about having a supportive environment. And I
Mm-hmm,
can tell you from today that being in connection and with nurses in charge, I've had a different look at how the world interacts. Nurses in charge have changed the world to a global village in such a way that you have this type of support, just sharing with others your journey, that support that you have from colleagues, from those who are in front of you, who can tell
mm-hmm,
you how tough the journey is, but still encourage you to go in for it because they trust you, they think you are in for it and you can achieve that particular dream. That
mm-hmm,
is, for me, is very important. And as Justin rightly said here, if we had to look just at the finances, I'm not
mm-hmm,
sure most of us will be where we are today because
mm-hmm,
looking at finances alone, which is already an obstacle for us, you are sometimes limited to that. But I can tell you that once you have the will, once you have the determination that I can go through this, no other obstacle is going to block you. But now going through this program, I can already see that it's going to be challenging. Imagine you have to conduct your research, you have to pay your fee every year. This is a difficult journey to people who live like us, people who are struggling to work at the same time go to school. So it means that unfortunately, we often find ourselves sometimes even dropping out of our programs because financially we were not able to further till the end. And I'm just amazed at the work that nurses in charge has embarked in. I've never known about nurses in charge, but to find myself one of the beneficiaries of this particular program means others can do it and we should be able to support others to achieve their dreams. I am actually honored to have this program. I am actually full of tears that you can see, and the support, we just need to support each other no matter where we find ourselves because we don't know where we're going to meet somebody tomorrow who will need our help. We need to support each other. We need to prepare ourselves to make sure that wherever we are, we should receive the same care that each and everyone needs. Thank you.
Absolutely. Excellently said. So I asked that question because you and I have had some good time to talk about the experience and having
Mm,
walked the same journey that you are on. I understand that finances, as Awia said rightfully, is not all of it to it. Yes, it is a bulk of it, right? But when we spoke a while ago, you did express how some of your instructors would just call to say hello. But to you, when you picked up that call, you thought they were calling to remind you about your, that the phase of your thesis that's due for you to submit. But then that instructor only told you, I just called to say hello. And in a human's mind, when you have that level of support, especially going to achieve this terminal degree. They call it terminal degree because that's where the road stops. Everything else beyond the doctoral level is certification, specialization, and all that. So when that instructor just invests in you as a person, it elevates your mood. I know what that feels like when I had instructors who would just send me a text. Hey, Nyepu, how are you doing today? How's the family? They know I have a family. I'm not only going to school. How was work? And they work night shift, right? How was work last night? Did you get any sleep? And we just talk or we text back and forth. It makes me feel like I'm a human being and that instructor is a human being. They're not looking at me as a textbook material. So, if you're watching this show, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are, whether you're in China, like we see our regional director who is Ali Fakar. Ali is in the Middle East. This is the beauty of nurses in charge. We have our regional directors who can just pop up on our shows. They can check in on our members as he is today. And listen, Ali is, I believe he's still based in one of those regions in Yemen where he could be having issues that are related to war, but he found time to charm in today. Ali, thank you. This is what we're talking about. Beyond Mr. Elvis' classroom, he has a global community that cares about him, about his achievement. The video that we prepared to show his family, his wife and his child, that just showed that this is a human being. And imagine he is on this journey to better himself up, to take better care of human beings out there. So if you're out there and you have an institution that has to do anything with healthcare, or you are an instructor, you are a mentor, an educator, whatever role you play in society, I need you to check in with NIC because we need you. This job is too big for few people. We need like-minded individuals to come along and truly galvanize with us because as Mr. Elvis rightfully said, and I caught that when he said it, NIC is making a global village. A global village. We're making this entire universe that God created very small, that we can reach into each other's lives and touch their lives and say, hey, how are you? I am in Europe, but I know you by name. You are not alone. You're going through this journey and you are not alone. How is your family doing today? And that, let me tell you, you can send money, but money does not solve all the problem. When a man and a woman have good mind, their psyche is supported. They feel spiritually charged. They can break barriers. So thank you so much, everyone that joined us today. This is what we call support that is priceless. Support that is priceless. Because let me tell you, when you have that support of your community, nobody will be burnt out. We will conquer burnout. We will conquer barriers. Because just a few weeks ago, Mr. Elvis and I just sat down. He walked through his thesis, the different parts that he's trying to fill in. And I said, no, you know what? I think you should put that here. I never saw that I would be in this position to help guide anybody. But I know there are people out there who have gone beyond me, who know better than me. They're in research. They are influential. Please join us. Be not only Elvis, we had Evelyn Yangio, who is in Liberia. She's a registered nurse going for her midwifery degree. We have Yensha, who is in Cameroon. He's a nursing student. I mean, this guy, he is a nursing student who is my leader. He is, I'm telling you, I learned so much from his energy, from his leadership skills. And then we also brought on Nurse Ruben Zakari, who is in Nigeria. He as well is going for his PhD, and he too is in infection control. And we have others that are coming, right, along the who are coming down the pipeline. This is Nurses in Charge Scholarship Foundation. We need your help. We need mentors. We need educators. We need your million dollar so to support us. We need an entire community. Thank you, everyone. Any last words from you, Mr. Bika, Justin? Any last word for our leader here, Mr. Elvis? Please tell him something. Oh, hold on. I think you're muted.
His, that his candle is up. His candle is up and is leading so many people to the right direction. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome, awesome. You were muted in the beginning, so we your voice got cut off in the beginning of your statement. Please say it again.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. We got Yensha who is sharing you up. He is out there as well. This is your mentee. This is your I would say your what is your yeah, you've been mentoring EHR for a while. You brought me to NIC. So we say thank you. Anyone else who is on audio would like to say anything? I'm going to unmute Awia and others who are backstage. Please say something to our leader. He's on a journey and he needs all of our support.
Mm, thank you.
And for those who are not coming in and stay and giving good vibe to our leader, we will charge you to give us money instead. Because it's either you give us your verbal support, or you give us financial support, or you come along and be our mentor, um, join our mentoring program, and or join our any areas in our leadership. We have those who are just there educating, who are about uh, research department, and we are bringing on a lot of aspects. And next year is going to be amazing because the preparation is starting now. So thank you so much, everyone. Uh, I will post some information for those who may have missed some of the share information earlier. Again,
Dr.
nurses in charge. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you once more, and to great individuals like Nisha. Nisha is quite an inspiration. Nisha's energy is non-comparable to any other. I can tell you that just Nisha texting me every day. Sometimes you are wondering if he wants to ask about how far you have gone with what you plan to do, and he is just asking about the family. He just wants to know how the little baby in the house is doing, and
Mm,
that is the support that you need. I can tell you, when I shared our program with on my stages, and my main supervisor just came in and she just said, "Well done, Elvis. I am so proud of you." That is enough. That because each time, as you said, each time that you see her texting or you see she's writing you, you start asking yourself questions. Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Were you supposed to do something and you didn't do? But when at the end of the day, you just see, Elvis, I was just calling to check out. I hope you are doing great. And this is enough to keep that energy going. Thank you once more. And Just you being there and being the lead that you have been, and talking with me and encouraging me on this journey, telling me how others have gone through and we should go through it. I'm really proud. I'm really excited about this journey, and I hope this family that we have today, Nurses in Charge, is going to stay put, is going to support me till the end of the journey, and not not forgetting my friends and family, the family back home. They are always there. Even the food that you come at in the evening is already there, just to give you that boost, that energy, and to have some disturbance from the little one in the house is enough to keep you going, because you know you have people who are looking up to you. Awia and Yvette, they have always been there, supportive, and this Nurses in Charge family, this is a family that I all depend on. This is a family that I know, as I'm going to bed, is going to be supportive till the end of this journey. Once more, thank you, and thank you, Justin, for always being there, always being supportive, and always encouraging me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elvis. I just posted, or I would say, launched what Ali is saying here. Ali says, "Today I want to make a promise. I will provide an online webinar dedicated to delivering a worthy, knowledge-rich lecture for the community. The focus will not just be on stories, but on substance, on the framework, care plan, and servant nursing science that proves our profession is not defined by task, but by its power to save lives, accelerate recovery, create prevention, healing, health, and flourishing. This is my commitment to you, to share knowledge and equip, empower, and there are more to what Ali wrote. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes, a round of applause for you, Ali. You have a dying, you have made dying. I would say you have a how you call it, a commitment that goes beyond life. And I see that how over the years you have been there for nurses in your region. You have been there for nurses in LinkedIn, pouring out a lot of um, encouragement to nurses globally, and with you committing to doing more in that endeavor, nothing less is expected of you from where you've come from and how much you've done so far. So for those of you who don't know Nurses in Charge totally, I want to just let you know that within our faith-based outreach community, this is one of the best hidden secrets in Nurses in Charge. This is a community that meets once a month to pray for the entire organization, for the members, for the leaders, for endeavors. So when we're on this show and talking about support, we're not only asking humans, we're actually speaking life into the universe, and we're telling God this is our mission. These are the things that our members are doing. They're reaching high and beyond, and we're sharing their story. We're bringing awareness to the fact that a nurse is in Cameroon endeavoring for his PhD. A nurse is in Nigeria endeavoring for his PhD. A nurse is in Liberia, right? And also going beyond. Oh, I don't want to only be a registered nurse. I want to get my midwifery degree. A nurse is in Cameroon, and the list goes on. Like I said, we have more and more nurses and midwives down the pipeline coming along to say, "This is what I'm doing in my community. This is what I'm doing in my educational journey." So we want to bring highlight to that. We want for the world to see that nurses are not just passing pills, starting an IV, or handing instrument to the doctors. We are saying, I'm going beyond this. I'm doing research. like Ali just said, with his project that he's working on. So it goes beyond these windows, but just always know that there is a prayer section. There is that faith-based community that is, if we're not even praying, we're sharing motivational quotes with each other, videos that are speaking to our lives, so that we're not alone and we're not taking this journey alone. So always remember, Nurses in Charge is a ministry. Nurses in Charge is a faith-based organization. We're not ordinary. We're not just the rest of those who are in a basket out there. We are divinely being moved by the hands of God. So for those who did not know that part of Nurses in Charge, please do know. You don't mess with us. We're children of God, and He will take care of us. So join our mission and be blessed forever and ever in Jesus' name. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. It was a blessing having you all on this Sunday. And Mr. Elvis, Godspeed. You will conquer more borders. You will achieve this PhD, and we will come back here and have a virtual party. It will be amazing. We'll
Amen.
each have our
Exactly.
foods, and we'll be eating, and the whole world will see us having a party. So thank
Thank
you
you
so
very
much,
much.
everyone who came to support Mr. Elvis.
Mm.
It is amazing to see you all.
Yeah, a whole family came. My my
Yes.
my sister Ben is also there from Yaoundé. She's there
Wow.
supporting. So I
Wow.
can't even name everybody. Everybody's supporting. Yeah.
That's amazing. See, you are
Thank you very
loved.
much.
You are loved and highly revered. So,
Mm.
Professor Elvis, salute. Bye, everyone. You have a
Bye
blessed
bye.
week.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye. Oh, dear. I love it.